Welcome to the IJK Optics instructional video. I'm Alex, Sales Manager at IJK Optics, and I'll be explaining a few basic terms and giving you a brief overview of our new locking resettable to zero turrets. These turrets are available on our SF side focus and ESF electronic side focus models in our third generation sniper line. These are a few basic terms we will be using quite often in this video, so I wanted to give you some quick definitions. First, we have zero, which means your point of aim matches the point of impact at a given distance, so your bullets impact where your crosshair center is pointing. Next is your elevation turret, which is located on top of your scope. It moves the reticle into line with your point of aim vertically up or down. And finally, your windage turret, which is located on the side of the scope next to the elevation turret. It moves the reticle into line with your point of aim horizontally, left or right. Now with that out of the way, let's take a look at some basic parts of your scope and what they do. What you see here is the IJK Optics 3x12x44 ESF scope. We will be using this model as our example scope throughout this video. All the information will apply to the scope as well as to all of our other third generation SF and ESF scopes in our sniper line. You already know what a windage turret and elevation turret do, and you can clearly see where each is located on the graphic. The next feature we'll discuss is the zoom or magnification control, which adjusts the power or zoom of your scope. This adjusts the degree to which your target can be magnified. On our example scope, the range starts with 3x and ends with 12x. Don't worry if you aren't sure what those numbers mean. I'll explain. The 3x and 12x I just mentioned are magnifications off of a base human vision of 1x. So for example, 3x magnification is magnifying the target 3 times closer than what your normal vision could. The next feature we'll talk about is your diameter ring or fast focus, which is located near the rear of the scope and will affect your crosshair focus. This needs to be adjusted to the shooter's vision for the crosshair to appear clear. This can be done by turning the ring counterclockwise or clockwise. Next is your parallax control or adjustable objective. This is the knob located across from the windage turret and is responsible for the clarity of the image at a given distance. This distance is clearly marked on the side of the knob and must be adjusted to the distance of the target. If not, the target will appear blurry and out of focus. Adjusting the parallax will correct this problem. You can also think of it like this. The parallax control allows the shooter to choose a distance where the scope is clear and change this distance at any time. Last but not least, we have the illumination control. This is located near the rear of the scope. It is the knob that sits on top of the scope closest to the shooter's eye. This is a standard feature on all third generation IJK Optics ESF scopes. You can leave the crosshair black by aligning R, G, or B with the white dot present on the scope itself. Any one of these settings will turn the crosshair illumination off. To illuminate the center of the crosshair, simply turn the dial left or right, stopping on a 1, 2, or 3, which indicates what brightness you have selected and will remain on until switched off. The purpose of this is to make the crosshair easier to see in low light situations. Remember to turn the illumination off to conserve your battery. If the battery needs to be replaced, simply unscrew the top of the illumination dial and replace the CR2032 with a new one. Here is another view of the same scope so you can see things a little bit clearer. Now that you have some knowledge on the parts of a scope, let's learn how our particular turrets on an IJK Optics scope work. This shows a top view of the elevation turret. You can see the turret has 3 positions or modes it can be set into by pulling the turret either up or down. These modes are free, set, and lock. The center part with a graphic printed on it does not move. The turret housing around it does, which you will see in a minute. Shown here is the lock position of the turret. This turret cannot be movable in this position. This is so the scope may keep a reliable 0 and should be in this position for storage or when shooting. This setting is great for hunters because they don't need to worry about bumping the turrets out of alignment and missing that all-important shot. Next we have the second mode or set position for the turret. This is achieved by pulling up on the turret until it releases from the lock position. This mode is used for adjusting your scope's point of aim or sighting in the optic, so the optic's crosshairs are aligned to where your bullets are impacting the target. You will hear a clicking noise, and each click is moving your crosshair the distance it is written on the turret top. This is the third mode or the free position for the turret. This is achieved by pulling up on the turret until it releases from the set position. This mode is used for resetting the turret to 0 without adjusting the optic. You will feel the turret spin freely, but it will not click. This is normal. This feature allows you to re-zero your turrets and should be done once the optic is sighted in. Now, one more thing. When your turrets are successfully reset to 0, you will see this. The 0 on the turret should match up with the white indicator dot present on the scope itself. This means you have successfully reset your turret, either windage or elevation. And now you will see this demonstrated in a short video where the turret system is being used while the scope is mounted on a rifle. The scope being used is the same one used in the graphic you saw earlier, IJK Optics 3x12x44 ESF. The IJK Optics family thanks you for watching this instructional video. I hope this has answered any of your questions, and we appreciate your business. Thank you for choosing IJK Optics, home of family business.